Hey guys, Straya in China here, and today I wanted to bring you a top 5 list of the things that I've missed about living in Australia. Now this list is going to be the isolation list because I haven't really had a chance to leave my house yet as I'm still in isolation, so the list will be more focused on things around my general living in Australia and not my outings and what I can experience outside. And don't get me wrong, I am definitely making a top 5 list about what I enjoy about China when I head back there. So let's have a look at the top 5 things that I enjoy about living in Australia. Isolation edition.
Mambo number 5.
The first one on my list would definitely have to be drinking water from a tap. When I went to China, I had seen the kind of water purifiers and that before, but I had never actually seen these kind of pump devices. This was the first experience for me, being able to pump the water from the big gigantic water bottles. So I think one of the best things for me living in Australia is just being able to walk up to a tap and just turn it on and have fresh water coming out that I can just drink straight away without having to worry about how clean it is or having to purify or boil it first. The next one would have to be carpet. Now, I absolutely love lying down on the carpet, watching a good movie, kicking back, relaxing a bit, using my phone. And in Asia, it's very common to have wooden floors everywhere. It could be real wood, it could be that fake wood with the sticker wood over the top, but you don't get that same feel of when you walk across carpet. You feel it in your toes, you feel that kind of softness pushing back at you. I mean, I could fall asleep just sitting on carpet or lying down on carpet. Yeah, it takes a little bit more effort to clean than wooden carpet, but it's just so comfortable.
1, 2, 3, not only you at me, got 180 degrees and I'm caught in between. Got 1, 2, 3, beat it.
Now, I absolutely love cooking, and one of the biggest things that I have missed while I've been in China is my oven. I do have an oven in China, but definitely compared to the size of this oven, my oven in China is tiny. It doesn't really cook things that well, and I mean, I can't even fit in the pans half the time in my little oven. So it kind of limits what I can actually cook or bake in there because I can't even fit a tray in. So I've really missed things like a big oven, which is pretty much guaranteed in every single household in Australia. Next would have to be the sound of nature. Now, in China, pretty much I'm surrounded 24/7 by construction. Whenever I open up my window, whenever I walk outside, going down the streets, there's always construction, there's always something being built, there's always cars beeping or driving past. So you always kind of have this really heavy industrial kind of sound to relate to. Unless you actually really try to go further away from that, you're going to be surrounded by those sounds. Whereas here in Australia, I'm generally surrounded by birds chirping, I'm surrounded by the wind blowing through the trees. You hear just general nature sounds. I mean, it's quite unfortunate where I'm living right now just happens to have construction happening at exactly that time, But, you know, I'm used to it now, and it's definitely a lot less and a lot less hours than what usually happens construction in China. So it doesn't bother me at all. And I mean, you look at the introduction video that I've made for my channel here. One of the first things that you notice is the sound of the kookaburra, the native bird for Australia there. And I put it in there because I essentially associate Australia with sounds of birds. So while living in China, I don't really get to hear or experience those bird sounds. So that's definitely a big one for me, is what I kind of miss about Australia.
You're the one that I want, always here by my side. Never have to feel lonely 'cause you treated me right. You're the one that I need.
The final one on my list would have to be junk food. Now, I'm definitely a big fanatic of eating all types of junk food. I'm terrible. I'm a type 1 diabetic, but I can't help but eat my sweets. Now, don't get me wrong. Chinese sweets and that are fantastic. Chinese confectionery. I mean, I've got drawers full of Chinese snacks here, and they are fantastic. I absolutely love eating these Chinese snacks. But it's just something about some of the confectionery here in Australia that I really miss, especially things like the milk chocolates, just the rich, creamy taste of the chocolate I absolutely love. There's certain flavors that people would probably say are disgusting that I love that I can get here in Australia too, such as mint flavored things or musk. Musk sticks are one of my favorite confectionaries on earth, and you know, it'd probably be very disagreeable. I hope you enjoyed that top 5 list on things that I missed about Australia. Now make sure you head down to the comment section, like, comment, subscribe on my video. While you're doing that, I think I'm going to kick back to a piece of banana cake that I baked in my oven at home and a nice refreshing glass of tap water. I'm the Straya guy in China, and I don't have a clever sign off. Don't get me wrong, there's also some confusing flavors as well here that you can get in Australia, but I'll do another separate video on that a little bit later.